What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and Nintendo makes one step forward and then takes 10 steps back. This is Friday, November 20th. If you're tuning in today, I'm thankful for you. I'm going to have 5 to 6 videos today, so please, on whatever platform you're watching, whether it's YouTube, Parler, BitChute, Odyssey, or Rumble, please subscribe. On YouTube, there's a red subscribe button down below. It just makes finding my videos easier, and I would greatly appreciate it. I've covered the fighting game scene several times on this channel, usually when there's a anti-player type controversy or a hilarious woke garbage situation. For example, with Dead or Alive and Evo being Evo at times, not like in the Womans, and a variety of other things. But yesterday, I praised Nintendo. I put out a whole video talking about how proud of Nintendo I was after they put out a statement banning the use of Animal Crossing for political messaging, for political campaigns. I believe strongly that video games should be protected as a form of escapism. Look, if you want to make a game about modern politics, go ahead, enjoy nobody watching it or buying it. But when you cram it in or shoehorn it into existing video games, that's where people push back. And this is a more complex situation in the gaming community that they've requested help, and I'm going to request your help sharing this video under the hashtag #FreeMelee. Now, Super Smash Bros. Has several versions of the game. The fighting community plays a wide variety of different fighting games, whether it's Mortal Kombat or DOA or whatever the new hot game is. And Super Smash Bros. Obviously is way up there. Now, there is still a dedicated community for Super Smash Bros. Melee, which is, 20 years old now? It's super old. I think it was on GameCube, if I remember right. Let me just double check my math here. Yeah, 2001 it came out, so 20 years ago on GameCube. Now, Nintendo, of course, being Nintendo, going after a very large tournament. Now, frustratingly, the timing where people that enjoy this type of thing. Now, I admit, I don't watch fighting games. I respect the talent, I respect the community, but it's just not my thing. However, I'm very blessed to have this platform and a viewership that mobilizes, and I know that a large portion of my viewers do enjoy fighting games, so I will go to bat for you. The Big House was where a large Super Smash Bros. Tournament was going to happen. Now, Nintendo has stepped in with curious reasons, and I'm going to explain why the reasons just don't make sense to shut it down. The Big House is heartbroken to share we've received a cease and desist from Nintendo of America to cancel our upcoming online event. We were informed that we do not have permission to host or broadcast the event, primarily due to the usage of Slippy. Sadly, all of our competitions are affected. We are forced to comply with the order and cancel the Big House online for both Melee and Ultimate. Refund information will be sent shortly. We apologize to all those impacted. Now, Slippy is a piece of software that is used that requires ROMs. The implication is that Slippy is like some sort of pirating software, or it automatically guarantees that these ROMs are illegally downloaded or not owned by the players. But the reality is, and as far as the courts have backed it from what I can tell, individual users who purchase a game are allowed to make a ROM of that game. Therefore, players in the tournament can bring a ROM or use a ROM of the game that they own. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely no pirating going on there. Now you have Super Smash Bros. The Big House 10 canceled over netcode. The Big House, one of the premier events in the competitive Super Smash Bros., must cancel the tournaments they had scheduled for early December after receiving a C&D from Nintendo of America. Remember that Nintendo is the same company that would only let people stream or make YouTube videos of their video games if they got a chunk of the money. They had only recently gone back on that absolutely backwards mentality. The Big House had been held with no problems every year since 2011. Nintendo's issue this year is related to the Big House organizers' plans to use Slippy, an unapproved rollback netcode that makes Super Smash Bros. Melee playable online. A tool necessary for the online event. Right, because the game, I mean, they didn't have online gameplay for this game in 2011. I'm sorry, 2001 on the GameCube. So we're also in the midst of a global lockdown. In-person events are very difficult, if at all possible even, right now. You have many states, Michigan, California, states saying that you can't even have people in your own house who isn't related to you. You have bans on groups, gatherings of more than 10 people. The Big House 2020 announced back in July that its in-person event would be canceled in light of the lockdowns. The previous 4 tournaments were held at TCF Center in downtown Detroit. Now, on November 10th, Big House organizers announced that they would move the tournament online, set December 4th through the 6th as dates, and begin taking registrations. Now, with Nintendo's cease and desist, the event had been canceled. Look, Nintendo, I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you. Look, the world needs these type of events right now to come together. The world needs video games. The world needs escapism. They need some return to some form of normalcy. I'm sure you can understand that, Nintendo of America. Now, understand also that the Big House certainly would have wanted to do this event in person. So this 1 year of the Big House, this one time, they need to make it virtual so that they can keep it safe. There's nothing wrong with that. Look, if everything is okay next year, I guarantee they'll go back to having this in person again. On November 10th, Big House announcers announced that they would move the tournament. The Big House is the longest running annual tournament in Super Smash Bros. Competition, which is held every year since 2011. Last year's prize pool delivered $3,600 to Melee singles winner Mango and $4,000 Ultimate Singles champion Okada Zachary Soda. Now, Nintendo has sent out a statement. Nintendo appreciates the love and dedication the fighting game community has for Super Smash Bros. Series. We've partnered with numerous Smash Bros. Tournaments in the past and have hosted our own online and offline tournaments for the game. And we plan to continue that support in the future. Unfortunately, for the upcoming Big House tournament, announced plans to host for online tournament for Super Smash Bros. Melee that requires use of an illegally copied versions of the game. See, that's the mistake. Look, maybe I don't like screaming at people who we need to do us a favor, right? That's why I went from having these angry rant videos about YouTube screwing up to more measured response videos, because I don't want to berate somebody into shutting down. So please listen to me, Nintendo of America. People who own the game can create their own ROM. There's no problem. There's nothing wrong with this, right? Therefore, the game that they're using isn't illegally obtained. It isn't illegally copied. It's their own version. It's just a ROM of a game that they own. I'm sure that there's some middle ground here where people could prove they own the game and show you that they have enough licenses to have this tournament where it could still go on. I mean, let's work together here rather than fight and be mad. Yes, I want to hashtag free Melee for the community, but also I want Nintendo to understand that, like, there's obviously a middle ground here that you could take. I just don't understand why you have to go down this road. Now, it's in conjunction with a mod called Slippy during their online event. Nintendo therefore contacted the tournament organizers to ask them to stop. They refused, leaving Nintendo no choice but to step in and protect its IP and brands. Nintendo cannot condone or allow piracy of its intellectual property. But it's not a piracy. It's not piracy. You see the top comment right here. This statement is completely false. The tournament does require does not require the use of an illegally acquired version of the game. You are legally allowed to make backups of your games you own for your own use. You are also legally allowed to play the games you own on whatever hardware you choose via emulation. There is nothing illegal with the mod Slippy, and none of the code belongs to Nintendo, which is pretty obvious because the netcode is actually good. While copyright law allows for backing up for personal use, doing that for a relatively modern console game requires breaking the encryption built in, which is in fact illegal under the DMCA. Well, that doesn't apply here, does it? Now again, people out there like Ludwig, Cloud9, and more are speaking out against this. These are people that I don't know, but I know my community will absolutely gather arms and push hard to support this community like we do all the time. This is something that the gaming community needs right now. It is completely harmless. I think that it may stem from Nintendo's misunderstanding of Slippy, which I'm hoping this video has helped clarify. And I hope that we can get this resolved today. Hashtag free Melee. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share it. Please share the tweet. Please share the parlays on Parler. We'll talk to you again real soon.